Good morning and thanks for joining me for a ride on the Black Lake 50-inch trail. It's about 6 a.m. this morning, just getting up and see what this trail is all about. Sun's just barely starting to come up. I entered in on the 50-inch trail near the Black Lake State Forest Campground, which is where I was staying. My goal is to try to do the whole entire, I'll call it northern loop. So coming out of the campground, I took the first left into this 50-inch. So as you can see, plenty of whoops to begin with. We've got some good berms too. So far it seems decently wide though. You know, I'm on the Renegade 1000 today. And hopefully this trail doesn't get too tight for it. So far so good. I'm at a spot here, says the Bluffs. So I'm gonna double check to see that I'm not missing. So I'm at the Bluffs and Doriva Beach Road. Come out to some telephone lines. I'm on the route right now, thinking it'd come back to be a 50-inch trail, but I'm not seeing where the pickup of the 50-inch trail is. So gonna have to check the map. Okay, so left the campground, came around. This is where I picked up the route. So it looks like I just have to go a little bit further up and then I should get back onto the 50-inch, and that'll be the goal, to run the route, come back down. And there's quite a bit here further south as well. So he just keeps on going. So we'll get moving. Is it? Nope. This might be it. Nope. That was it. Up some dust, I guess. Here we go. All right. It's a good start. Cool opening that it lets out to. Lots of whoops so far that I've seen. So yeah, it's tightened up a little bit here. Rubbing tires, so to speak. Sun's continuing to make its way up. Hopefully we're gonna have some nice bright sunny skies all day today. A little bit of clouds in the forecast, but the temperature's great. Like right now it's about 65. It's supposed to get up to the mid-70s today. So I think I picked a nice day to be out here doing this. A lot of these cross paths too, and I think this is some routes and other areas for ORVs. So far I've already seen about a half a dozen deer too. It's the nice thing about coming out in the morning. They're still running around. So besides the whoops, looks like there's quite a few roots in here as well. Be mindful of that. Cool thing about the tires I have on, the cryptids with a huge like 2 or 3 inch lugs on them, they tend to just roll over roots. So no big deal for what I'm riding today, but I just avoided a couple of stumps on the side too, so it looks like there are quite a few stumps here as well. So it's definitely not just sandy bottom, boring trail. This one's actually pretty fun. But let's be honest, I rarely end up on any of these and think to myself, man, this isn't any fun, this is boring. That doesn't happen too often. I usually tend to appreciate every one I'm at. Something to note, there are a lot of hill climbs, quite a bit of elevation change. A lot more than what you usually find on a 50-inch trail. All right, that was a climb right there on the hill. And a lot of these cross paths I've seen the signs saying no motorized vehicles, and you can see people are driving on them, but it looks like they're mostly walk paths. Some of those blue walk path signs are on them every once in a while. But yeah, you're in and out of, oh, you can see there's some ruts right here. Wow, enough even to, if I want to go over these, probably got to put it in 4-wheel drive. There it is. See what else is up here. There we go. Dropping back down in. Yeah, this is fun. Unfortunately, it's probably not going to pick it up on camera very much, but this is a lot of up and down in regards to elevation changes, not just these whoops. Now here's an example. You're looking across and you can just see the drop down in. Constant downhill right now, more or less just dragging me, still dropping. Wow, just kind of lean back and enjoy the ride. Still coming down. Yeah, just beginning to flatten out now. Love it. Yeah, I got an example here where I'd be hitting if I keep going, so This is actually a spot where not quite 50 just because of the way the trail or the trees themselves bow in. But a few other people have figured that out too, so you got to be watching out for that. But that's the first one I've seen like that so far. Just got to pay attention. Usually you can get through them. Figured I'd record this sign just showing if you're out here cruising around, there's things that are closer than you realize when you're out in the middle of the woods. Well, I'm going to keep staying on the 50-inch trail. It says 99 for that route number. My mission today is 50-inch. And it is starting to get a little tighter up around in here. Sun's still trying to make its way up. When I get in the thicker canopy, it gets dark. Came up on my first deforestation area, and the good news is it's not that big of an area. Look at those clouds moving. Alright, let's keep going. Back into the woods. Couple of deer. Cool. Oh, 3 of them. I think that makes maybe 9 or 10 so far I've seen in less than an hour. I came out onto a road. It's a little confusing because you end up having to drive through this intersection, not really clear where to go, but it looks like you just kind of more or less continue straight. And this road is still considered the 50-inch. So I'm assuming that I'm going to see a cut-in back into the true 50-inch here pretty soon. But without looking at a map, when you're just driving around on it, this little zone is a little bit confusing. So, just something to note. Well, here's the pickup from that road. So you do drive down a road for a while until you get back to it. You're back right into the twisties right away. Woo. As you can see here, it's pretty snug. On a sport quad, you might be able to fly through here pretty quick, but on a big utility, not quite. Unless you don't mind hanging up your plastics every once in a while. you can tell a few people have hit. See scratches on the trees again. Some spots are pretty well labeled. Looks like I can pretty much go any direction. But we'll keep going the overall direction I'm facing. Definitely lots of roots in the path on this trail. Look at the size of that hole. I mean, whew. Just to give you a size comparison, get my foot here. So, what do we think lives in that thing? I don't know if that'd be seems awfully big for a fox. But I've noticed quite a few of the dugouts, homes of animals coming out of the sides of this 50-inch trail. When I say a lot, I say I've noticed maybe over 30 of them so far. And I'm guessing maybe I've done 15-20 miles, if that. There's definitely plenty of wildlife living around here. But I would like to know if that's a foxhole or like a groundhog. And another one just went by. Or maybe badger. I want to know, but I don't want to know bad enough where one of them jumps out at me. Sun's starting to come out. Kissing the trees. Gorgeous day. Couple stumps. You definitely can't let your guard down in this trail. A couple of times I've just been sightseeing, looking around, and I get surprised by a stump on the side of the road, the side of the trail, I should say. So that's noteworthy. There are a lot of stumps, a lot of roots. Definitely be mindful. I could see this trail being a serious rim killer. It's definitely still worth coming to check out though, and to ride often if you're in the area, because the scenery is very cool. Not a very fast trail though in some cases, just because of how tight and twisty and turny it is. But that's one of the things that I personally like the most about 50-inch trails, is when they get like that, because then you feel like you're actually riding in the woods versus out on a road. Sun's coming up. This looks like a good spot to stop and take a drink and see how far along I've been. up a few spider webs on that last little section. There are some tricky spots, like you're just driving down this road and all of a sudden this is the entrance back into the 50. So just got to keep your eyes peeled, because when the 50-inch trail links back into some of the ORV route, there's not exactly the best signage to let you know where the 50-inch trail is going to pick up again. So that's just something to watch out for. Keep your eyes peeled as you're cruising down the route, because all of a sudden right around a turn, boom, there's the entryway back into the 50. Well, you can see this area here is pretty well grown in. As a reference, I just passed Orchard Road. Just entered back into this 50 from Orchard Road. So far it's been a lot of this type of scenery recently, mixed in with quite a few ferns. Like this. Okay, at this point we've gone from Black Lake all the way up and around, sitting right here. So, and it's about 18 miles to this point, close to Sheboygan State Park and the lookout point. So we're just going to keep on trucking all the way around and try to make our way back to the campground. This is actually a pretty good sized loop up here. I don't know if I'm gonna actually be able to pull off this south side today or not. I guess we'll see. Almost blew by this section right here. There's a fast area that's nice and wide, and then all of a sudden you get to this and the 50-inch just rolls right over here to the right, and I almost kept going straight. So at least there's a few of these signs here to catch your attention, but this is an easy spot to cruise right by if you're not focused. Seems to up here a little bit further north, seems like it's opened up quite a bit in regards to just being a little bit wider. So some of this has been pretty fast. I just went through a straightaway too that was a lot of fun. Now we're hill climbing with lots of roots. So yeah, quite a bit of change in just a short of distance. Still climbing. Gotta love it. Looks like we made it to the top here. Yeah, just running the ridge line right now. This is a cool trail. I don't know if the GoPro is going to pick it up, but just off there is a drop off. And we're to another stop sign now. Interestingly, there's a lot of these stop signs for these cross forest roads too. So you don't go along between a crossroad, seems like, in this trail, which I guess is nice, because if you have some kind of an emergency or you decide you need to break off, it's not too hard to do here. I'm assuming that says Alpena Street. But there's a cool little play area right over here when you come out of the trail right here. You can see this is an intersection, so another one of those where it took me a moment to figure out which way to go until you see this across the road. So now this is interesting. All dogs go to heaven, even naughty ones like Duke, because he never answer to John Wayne. Interesting. I am wondering if this is a burial spot for someone's dog. Rest in peace, little Duke 2023. So, just inside that last intersection that I just recorded. So if so, this has been here for over a year. Again, interesting the stuff that you see, Spider, when you're out on a trail in the middle of the woods. Grass in the middle of the trail. I love it. Closed in. Section. Growing in a little bit around here. Got these pricker vines pulling at me every once in a while. Hand guards definitely come in handy on this trail. At least here in late August, when stuff has grown in over it quite a bit. Okay, this is interesting. This area has been treated with Roundup Pro. Application for red pine management. Recently, within a couple of months. Actually, within a month it looks like. That might be, do not consume berries from this site for the duration of the season. Interesting. I'm not going to be consuming berries anyways. That might be why I've seen all these red paint lines on so many of these trees. I was curious why they were doing that. Maybe they're somehow marking the ones that they want to be spraying. I don't know. See, here's another one off the trail. I've counted since the last time I mentioned that. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say I've seen at least 50 of them. So whatever animal that is that's cutting into this trail all the time for entry to their home, there's a lot of them up here. But I have yet to see any on the trail yet, despite all those entry points into their houses. The sound of my engine's probably scaring them away. Yeah, whatever these things are, there's a lot of them and they're huge. Seriously, what are these things? I mean, they are huge. And they got quite a setup here. Huh. Well, I'm past halfway with gas. It's about 10 a.m., so I've been riding for about 3 hours. Hopefully I'm past halfway in regards to getting back to the campground. My goal was to be out and back by noon for lunch. So not only do I have a situation with gas, but I also have a situation with food. But it seems like this trail keeps looping me around big fields like this, and I haven't been looking at my phone much because my battery's almost dead. So I'm not sure if this is the same field that it just keeps going in and out and around, or if there's several of them like this out in this area. But either way, this has definitely been a fun trail. We're just gonna keep on trucking. The sun has kind of fallen behind the clouds too, unfortunately, but that's actually helping a little bit for keeping it cooler out. It is definitely a nice, comfortable day. See there how quickly you go from in the sun to covered in canopy. This is a fun trail. Well, looks like I did the loop because I remember seeing this spot before and I went that way. And I just came from that way. So I guess now I'm going to be heading back that way. I think at the next intersection I'm going to stop and look at my map and see how to get to the scramble area. I was kind of hoping this trail would just bring me there, but apparently not. So I'm going to see if maybe I can take some roads to beeline it to the scramble area, because I want to make sure I hit that before I have to go back to camp for lunch. Okay, so I just did some road riding back to the Black Lake trailhead, and trying to look at these signs to see where the scramble area is, and they are not very clear. So I'm gonna break my phone out, see if I can figure it out with my phone. Hopefully I'm close. This looks like it might be more of a walking trailhead than an ORV trailhead. So let's see what we figure out here. So unfortunately I can't seem to find it. I'm on Ison's Trail, and it looks like this is the intersection to get to Bummer's Roost. So it looks like I'm actually close to the campground right now too. So I'm probably just gonna have to call it as far as getting to the scramble area. I don't think I'm gonna make it today. So I'm gonna take this to a couple more intersections. Looks like it's several rights, and then I should be back to the campground. But I just crossed paths with 4 motorcyclists, dirt bikers, and they said it was further back behind me, but they couldn't tell me how far that direction. And trying to do a zoom up on the map, I couldn't find it. So I'll have to look for that for another day. But yeah, that's the intersection where I started this morning. So this is the way back to the campground. Thanks for riding along with me today. Black Lake ATV Trail is definitely worth the trip to get to. It's a good time, and man, is it convenient to be able to just cruise right out of this upper campground of Black Lake. You don't have to trailer, no nothing. You can walk out of your camper and drive right out of here, right onto the trail, as you just saw. So I'm just gonna let it roll until I get back to my camping spot, just to show how close it is. There's a couple of nice clean outhouses there too. But that's me. We'll check you next time. Have a great one.